be talking about is the latest digital marketing trends all small businesses and nonprofits should be paying attention to. I'll talk about why these trends are important, likely to you, and what you can do to start jumping on the trend, start taking advantage of the tools that I'm going to share. So with that, attracting new customers, clients, supporters, stakeholders, volunteers, donors be a big challenge for small businesses and nonprofits. So let's take a look at a couple of stats. 60% of small businesses say that attracting customers or clients is one of their biggest challenges. For nonprofits, 50% struggle when trying to attract new supporters, and 35% of businesses struggle to turn those visitors into customers or into donors. But in today's world, it's not enough for just prospective customers to simply find you online. You need to capture their attention and engage them. That's what the presentation is really going to be about, is engaging them, help them move them down the funnel so that that prospect can become a customer, donor, volunteer, etc. So with that in mind, let's take a look at our agenda today. We're going to be talking about the foundations for ensuring your online visibility, how to rethink your social media efforts to get more engagement and engagements that drives results, and how to drive business through the channels that you own. So let's dive in first into the foundations of online visibility. Really, it comes down to getting found online when people go looking. They may be looking for your organization specifically, or more likely, they may be looking for what you offer, right? What kind of products or the kinds of solutions that you offer. You just want to make sure that you're getting found either way. There's several things that you can do that come up in a search result when somebody searches online. At the heart of this, it's going to be having a mobile responsive website. Sometimes people will tell me, hey, I got a Facebook page already, Matt, I'm good. I don't need a website. But this is important to think about because that website is an asset that you own. You do not own that Facebook profile. You don't own the followers on Facebook, and the rules can change at any time. So you need to keep that in mind. You want to think of your website as your online hub, always bringing people back to your online hub. Whether you're doing email marketing or social marketing, SMS marketing, you want to bring people back to that online hub, especially important when we're thinking about online visibility. You want to have links to your social media profiles that show up in search results. We want that engagement. Engagement is going to move people down the funnel to becoming a customer, volunteer, donor, etc. And it's all about content. So we need to think about our content strategy because that's what fuels digital marketing. To get found online, it's a good idea to add a blog on your website where you're answering common questions that people may ask. And I'm going to keep repeating that comment around answering questions because that's actually pretty critical. Content ultimately is what people are going to likely be searching for, they're going to consume, and they're going to share online. Fresh, relevant content that aligns with what your audience is searching for is key. A blog is a great way to answer questions, there it is again, that your customers may be asking. Now, this is the first time I'm going to call out answering questions. You probably could sit down and write down 10 to 15 common questions your customers give you, your stakeholders give you, right? What you need to ask yourself is, where are you answering those? How many of those are answered on your website? How many times have you answered those kind of questions on social? And I don't mean literally they ask a question and you're answering them. You should lead with the kinds of answers to the questions you're getting regularly. They're telling you this is what I'm searching for. So you really want to pay attention to those frequently asked questions, not just share them in an FAQ page or document on your website, but that's actually a content strategy because they're telling you this is what I want to consume. Make sure you're paying attention to it because that is going to fuel what we do next. Tool 4 is listing and review sites so that you can show up on search engine results. And lastly, not lastly, because I gotta go here to get there. So we're going to talk about where people can find you in listing and review sites. It's an important aspect of your business or nonprofit that you need to think through. At the very least, claim your Facebook page, your Google business listing, your Yelp page. And there are other sites that might be relevant to your industry. Think about TripAdvisor if you're a restaurant, or Health Grades if you're in the healthcare industry. The big thing with these sites is to get found. They want to ensure that the information that you're providing is up to date and consistent and relevant. We start thinking about and talking about search engine optimization in just a few minutes. It's important to know that search engines are looking for consistency in how you list things like your address, your phone number, etc. So you want to make sure that if you're using abbreviations or parentheses in your phone number, it should be consistent across all sites. An important aspect to attracting new clients or supporters comes down to giving them fresh reviews on a regular basis. So what are some ways that you can get reviews from your customers, clients, etc.? Well, you could just ask them for reviews. You want to ask for reviews so that they're timely, so that when somebody has done business with you, when they've finished doing business with you, just ask them. That way you're top of mind. You're getting a real fresh review. You don't want to send a blanket request and try to get 100 views a day. That's probably not going to be very likely. Email is a fantastic way, though, to follow up after an interaction or a purchase. You can even automate that. So if somebody interacts with you, you can fire off an email that asks for the review. And very large brands do that consistently. You want to provide a direct link where they can actually apply that review. You want to make sure that you're driving them to your Google profile, to your Facebook page, or other sites so that they can give you the review directly there. All right, so the thing that ties all of these together is search engine rankings. Search engine rankings for your organization. The thing that we need to think about is, first, what is SEO? Not everybody here is a marketing expert. Search engine optimization is just what helps you rank higher when people are searching organically, so that when these are going to be search engine results that you're not paying for. SEO is the process of utilizing keywords to help you rank properly, but you need to have some basic fundamental ideas and level set first. Focus on the keywords in your content, in your website and profiles that the audience might use to find you. So as an example, if I have, I'm going to use a restaurant again. If I'm a restaurant and I have a particular type of menu, a particular type of offering at my restaurant, particular dishes, particular techniques, I'm going to make sure I'm employing that across my different media. So through websites, social media, etc., so that when people search for this kind of ingredient or this kind of cuisine, they're going to find me. Hopefully that makes sense. When you're thinking about how long it might take to see the results as you start to bridge out and think about SEO, well, you'll want to make sure you get the foundational parts done first. So getting your listings claimed, getting your online presence set, it might take you a little while, but within a couple of months, you could start to see additional traffic. Now, if you need some help with this, I'm going to do a demonstration towards the end of the presentation where Constant Contact, and this may not be a big surprise, you're seeing an example of it on the slide here. Constant Contact has tools that can help you, guide you through search engine optimization. All right, so tool 5, this is where I was going to get in just a little while ago. Tool 5 is using paid ads to amplify your efforts. Once you've gotten those essential pieces set up, thinking through your search engine optimization, claiming your sites, et cetera, you can add a whole nother layer and amplify those efforts through paid advertising to reach and attract even more people. Google Ads, it's a great way for you to get found in Google and drive more people to your website, etc. And then there's also things like Facebook and Instagram ads, where you can actually be where a lot of people are on Facebook and Instagram, having your ad show up and have your message sent to the right people at the right time with the right message. Now let's move on to talk about how you may want to rethink your social media efforts overall in order to drive more engagement. Social media is often misunderstood. So instead of like hoping to go viral, consider it as just one more of your overall digital marketing strategy and engage in specific ways to get seen. You're competing with algorithms here, and engagement is key to getting around algorithms. So some people are kind of surprised. Not everyone who follows you on social media actually sees your posts and messages. That's because of algorithms. Social media likes to show people more of what they're trying to consume, more of what they're interested in. They'll keep doing that. So engagement is critical. So I'm going to break things down to 3 ways we can leverage social media to be successful and kind of rethink on what we might be doing. So first up, it's all about engagement, right? If there's a headline from today's presentation, it's frequently asked questions and engagement. You want to ask questions to engage people, right? So you want to ask questions on things like a poll, or ask their opinion, or ask for feedback. You know, when I talk to live audiences about social media engagement, a lot of small businesses and nonprofits use social media as a way to share news, and it's perfectly fine to do that. Like, we've got a new employee and here's a new product, but those aren't inherently engaging, right? We want people to actually answer a question. We want them to actually type something in, like an image, share some content. Those are all forms of engagement. And when you're thinking through your social media strategy, you want to think about, how am I going to engage people? Maybe while simultaneously informing them, right? This post you see here from my friend Dave Charest, he is doing 2 things at once. He's talking about his podcast. He's talking about what he's doing. And, apparently some of the content was around firing a client. But what he's really doing, he's also simultaneously engaging. So he's advertising something, but he's also engaging his audience. Every one of those clicks, every one of those actions when people are engaging that poll he's changing the rules of the algorithm. Those people that responded are more likely to see future posts from Dave. That's the secret sauce. You also want to create moments where you can get people to participate, engage maybe on a fun level, where you start to show the human element. So take some time to think through something more fun or relatable, questions around something that might engage people from a more fun standpoint. A colleague, Gabby, does photography on the side, and she recently shared a post about how her son had spent 12 minutes in the snow and then went inside and asked if the followers wanted to go play in snow. Now, this isn't necessarily, she's a photographer, so this is going to be a photograph, right? And she's advertising her photography business. So there is an inherent advertisement here, but it's also engaging because it's got this fun picture of her son. Most of us have played in the snow. And so it's a way for her to kind of brush the cobwebs off of typical online social media marketing and get people to get those thumbs up and engage with people. Another example would be the candy corn example. Candy corn is either one of the things people love or people hate. It's very divisive, right? But it's a divisive piece that doesn't carry political overtones or things of that nature. And so most people have an opinion of candy corn. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this. I'm on team candy corn. I like candy corn, but people in my family don't. And so it's a fun way to get people engaged. Like, do you like candy corn? Yes or no? Now people are going to be more likely to engage, right? You wouldn't want to do this all the time, but this is a piece of the strategy. This is also kind of a piece of the game where we want to get the algorithm to start showing our posts more frequently to people that are engaging with us. We think about this. If you've attended any of my sessions around email marketing, I often say that the secret sauce for success in email marketing is relevancy. Well, this is relevancy in social media. Social media doesn't want to show posts to people that don't have not given any desire to see them, right? Because I mean, I'll take the curtain back a little bit here in social media. The more people spend time on social media, the more ads and other things they're going to consume, right? So if we think about it from a television perspective, right, where people are watching commercials, well, why are commercials so what entertaining, right? Because they want you to watch it. They want you to engage with it, pay attention. Same idea here with social media. The more kind of content that we can use to engage people, well, that's telling social media algorithms, hey, yeah, I want more content like this. The other way you can, there's a couple of other ways you can engage with people. So you can tie in kind of a personal connection to utilize groups. Connect with your audience in a way that you can't do, say, on a personal page or, I'm sorry, a business page, but get to know people. So invite local groups for your city or community that have some relationship to what you do. You can also engage in topic or industry groups online. So these are going to be social media outlets that you don't own, but you're engaging on them to get your name known more and to get your business or nonprofit known more. You also want to think about where your target audience lives and engage there. You want to have it somewhat tied to what you do, but if your audience, your persona of your customer, your donor, etc., meet a certain profile, think about where they would typically live on social media. And you want to try to be, when you're engaging on other sites, other social media pages, you want to make sure that you're being helpful and not overtly promoting something. You want to engage people, but not beat them up over the head. So one benefit to being on Alignable, and the one benefit to Constant Contact being on Alignable, but one benefit to you being Alignable and connected to Constant Contact is we have a team of people that are trying to engage you, try to give you advice, and try to educate you and answer your questions. Well, many of them, not all of them, but some of those people are agencies and freelancers doing marketing, and they're going to talk about their services. It's a very soft sell, but that's why they're there. They're there to get the Constant Contact name out. They're there to maybe grow their business, but ultimately they're also there to help you. You just want to make sure that you're also engaging if you're going to employ yourself on these kind of pages and engage on these kind of pages. You want to make sure you're following whatever rules they've said. So if they say you can't overtly promote your business, you want to make sure you are mostly answering questions and have it, again, be a very light sell. And then if you have any resources, create a group of your own. And that way you can start to become a center and a hub for organizations that are trying to have shared customers or shared constituencies. All right, let's move on to key number 2, which is entertainment. This is a place where, much like that photo of the sun and the snow, you get to show a little bit of the fun side of your organization. This kind of stuff creates a natural engagement for your audience, which is great for you to be seen and beat those algorithms. A lot of posts that I review, and I review a lot of social media posts and engagement on social media for nonprofits and small businesses. They tend to be kind of stodgy. Like I said, they're often talking about product or some sort of staffing announcement or something of that nature, they're a little buttoned up. You can unbutton the top button. You can take that stodginess out a little bit. You need to make sure that if you're going to employ um, something that's a little more lighthearted, that it is still relevant. You want to make sure that it is not seen as provocative, but you want to also make sure that you're thinking through, okay, how does this make my business look or feel? I kind of like this example, and I actually saw this one on Constant Contact's Instagram page. Um, I think this is really funny because we've all kind of felt that way after a big long holiday break. Constant Contact practices what we preach. Yes, we do talk about our products and our services and upcoming webinars and everything else that a business might talk about. But if you follow Constant Contact on social media, especially Instagram, you'll see this lighthearted attitude play through a lot. Last one is be helpful and provide value. As much as you want it to be, it's not just about selling somebody a product. So especially with digital marketing, I've talked about this a lot in our email courses together. You need to stay top of mind. That's the critical thing, because there's something called buying cycle, right? Not everyone's going to need what you offer the second you're posting something. They're not going to be in the market at that point. And so we need to stay top of mind until the need arises. Not everybody's going to be in a position to donate the second you're asking somebody to donate. You need to stay top of mind and relevant so that when they do have the ability, they're going to be there for you. So one way you can do that is answer questions people might have. Be helpful, provide resources, be the helpful guide to them so that when they're ready, they go, oh, yes, that organization helps me a lot. They really know their stuff, and I have a need at this point. So some things you could employ is some quick tips, or let's say if you're a flower shop, tips on how you can keep those flowers lasting longer. A garage door business, maybe you're talking about a snowstorm and how to prep for that. It's not solely about selling. You want to make sure you're staying top of mind with content that is going to be deemed useful and relevant to your audience. Last thing we're going to touch on social media is to amplify your efforts through paid ads. I talked about it a little bit because in many cases, you can reach more of the right audience by paying for it. We'll pull back the curtain on social media, right? They are businesses and they're out to make money, just like all of them technically. Nonprofit wants to collect money as well. A different need, but same idea. They're out to make money, right? And what the benefit to doing social media paid advertising is you are much more able to target the persona you're trying to reach. I mean, that's literally what they do. You look across whether that's geographic or financial abilities or interests or whatever it is. Social media is very good at matching what you're looking for to the people that applies to. And so the nice thing is you don't have to have a gigantic budget to do this. I think a lot of people assume you have to have a huge budget. Your budget will determine how much your ad is seen, but it doesn't have to be terribly expensive. So you can consider something like a lead ad. A lead ad is going to be a way for you to grow your email list in exchange for something like a discount or something of value. Once they actually provide their contact information, they can then get the thing of value. Most often you would provide that through an email, and you can automate that through Constant Contact. The idea behind the lead ad is that what you do is you ask Facebook or you ask Instagram, I would like to grow my list, and here's my target audience. Now, there's an additional benefit, and you have the ability through Constant Contact to upload your existing email list and say, hey, Facebook, hey, Instagram, hey, both, find me people that look like the people on my list. And what they'll do is they'll go use the algorithms to look at the email addresses you're providing, find people that are like the persona of that person that has that email address, and present your ad to them. So it's all about context. Then when they fill out their information, it's going directly, in our case, to Constant Contact. You can do with it what you will, ideally automate the response. You also can do just good old-fashioned advertising. So click ads, where you're actually promoting something directly. It's not, the call to action isn't per se for them to go join a list or even necessarily go to your website, but to buy something immediately. The idea here is that this is just visibility, sharing your contact, sharing your product, sharing what you do out in the world through social media. So when people are finding you online and they're interacting with you on social media, eventually you'll want to start to move people to media that you own, channels that you own. That might be email, that might be text. So you can continue to build relationships and stay top of mind. One thing, as I lightly touched on before, is social media owns the social media, meaning that they own the relationships, they own the contacts, they own the algorithms. But when we think about channels you own, email and text, you own the relationships, the frequency, you own what they're going to see, when they're going to see it. Same thing with text marketing. So you want to start to move people. If you're growing social media, if you have people on social media, one strategy you want to do is get people to join your email and or text marketing list from social media. You just have a lot more, a lot louder voice through email and text marketing. You have a lot more ability to stay top of mind by those tools. And so we do want to have a strategy where we're kind of moving people into those channels that we own. So you want to come up with a reason or reasons to get people to subscribe. Now, those can be a couple of different flavors. People might join a list, and this is especially for my for-profit friends, for promotions and or discounts for all types, but especially nonprofits, exclusive content people might not find anywhere else. So checklists and guides, things of that nature. And of course, for nonprofits, show support and talk about how your organization is changing the world and make them feel a buy-in. What you want to try to avoid is asking people just to join a list. Now, if you've attended, I did a session, I think late last year, nobody wants to join a list. Nobody wants to get more email. But what they will do is if they see relevancy through something that you're asking them to, or that they're likely to receive, then they're going to engage. So the idea behind, let's use guides or checklists, is, oh, that sounds valuable. I want, 20 tips on XYZ because I'm about to do XYZ. Yeah, here's my contact information. And then I get that guide or that checklist given to me, or in for-profit world, I get that discount applied to me. Now you've provided something of value. I've given you something of value. You've provided me something of value. So you can do something like creating a sign-up form and encouraging people to subscribe using a variety of different channels to grow your list, especially add a form to your website. That's a no-brainer. So you want to make sure you're collecting contact information on your website, but you can use a form. Work for Constant Contact, so I'll talk about Constant Contact specifically, but you can create a customized form where you can collect any information you want, and you can actually get people to join your list via social media. You just want to make sure you're promoting people, or you're giving people the opportunity to join your email and or text marketing list in as many places possible that they might see that form. When somebody gives you their email address, they are extremely highly engaged with you at that moment. So it's important to start communicating with people to capitalize on that momentum. So one thing I always encourage people to do is run, don't walk. And if you haven't done it, I've used this term before, run, don't walk, and set up a welcome email. The second somebody fills out a form on your website or social media or on your blog, wherever they're signing up, it's a good idea to welcome them. I'll use Randy as my example. Randy is interested in getting my checklist. She gives me her email address. She gives me her phone number, permission to text her. What is Randy going to be expecting when she enters that information in? She's going to be, one, expecting the thing of value that I offered her if I'm doing this right, but she's going to be expecting to be communicated to. So the welcome email is a great place to, again, fulfill the offer. If you're offering something as a thank you for joining the list, email is a great place to do it. It's also a great place to literally welcome to your organization and set expectations. But you can actually automate even more than just one email. You might want to then offer them a way for the circle to be complete. So if they're joining your list, say on your website, make sure you're encouraging them to connect to you on social so that you have more visibility and the ability to stay top of mind. For both businesses and nonprofits, you might also want to nurture your leads even further. So you can offer something like a series where the first email we send out is that welcome email. The second email is maybe about connecting us to social media. And then we fire off another email. Maybe we wait a week or two and we automatically send out an email talking about the features and benefits our organization might provide. And then we might even send another email a couple of weeks, testimonial, right? So we're giving social value. And social proof that our organization is what it says it is. And then later we make the ask and we have an automated email asking people to buy a product or donate or do whatever we're trying to do. All of this is automated. So as soon as they're joining a list, I'm firing off, in this case, 6 emails across a cadence of time to encourage people to go from, yeah, oh, I really want that checklist, or yeah, I really want that discount, to actually taking the action that you want them to take. The most important thing when you're doing any kind of digital marketing is to pay attention to the results. So you want to be paying attention to those results, and especially around automation. You want to be paying attention to the stages of the automation where people are engaging with you. So as emails are going out automatically, watch. What are they clicking on? Are they clicking on what I wanted them to? Did I have multiple links in the emails and automation? Well, that tells me what they were interested in. And lastly, because I know what they're interested in, maybe I either tweak up my automation to give them more of what the audience is overall interested in, or I start a whole new automated campaign sent to the people that showed interest in a particular thing in my email, and I send them more emails. Or maybe I collate them into a smaller segmented group and I send one-off emails to to these people. Why? Because they showed interest. And a great way to do that is getting them to show interest in the initial automated email series. All right, it's getting close to time to wrap up. We'll bring Randy back on in just a couple of minutes. And then I do have a demonstration where you can find some of these tools in Constant Contact if you want to stick around. But you want to make sure you're setting yourself up here in the newish year, making sure that you have all the foundational things set up correctly. You know, your website, your listings and review sites, social media. You want to make sure your content is answering questions and engaging with people. You may want to rethink how you're using social media. So if you had an epiphany and all you're doing is sharing somewhat stodgy, maybe it's not even stodgy, but only truly promotional things, you may want to think about how do you engage with people to get them to engage with you through likes, comments, and shares more often, using humor, humanizing your organization. And ultimately, no matter what you're doing on digital marketing, try to motivate people to join you in channels, email and SMS, that you own so that you can more properly maintain the relationship. One thing I want to highlight, because a lot of people overlook this as a benefit of Constant Contact, is Constant Contact has over 6,000 integrations that leverage tools you may already be using. So if we talk about automating and we talk about engaging people, you might be using some tools to do that already that integrate with Constant Contact. So if we talk about migrating people into channels you own, well, you might be using tools that can connect to Constant Contact to help you push them in. But you are here because of Alignable, and we do want to encourage you to join Constant Contact's community group by pulling out your cell phone, scanning it, scanning this QR code, and take a look at all the fantastic content we have, all the fantastic webinars we provide, and you know, we'll engage you here. And I pulled the curtain back a little bit on why we engage you. But Randy, do you want to talk about our offer, and then we'll move into the Q&A?